Welcome back. Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. Our old friend Mark Schneider, he hasn't been on in a while. It feels like it's too long. His Twitter handle, @SubSchneider. Mark Schneider, he's the founder and president of Gen 4 Nuclear Inc. And I always highlight this because he's exhausted. He's a father of 6 kids. His wife is even more tired. But Mark, welcome back. And what I really want to get from you is an update. I saw a tweet from you a week or two ago, maybe less, only a couple days ago, but there was a week ago I noticed one of your tweets. I thought, I haven't talked to you about this. Hashtag green nuclear deal is one of the things Mark popularized. First of all, Mark, what's your description? Welcome back. And what's your description of the nuclear issue in this presidential race? It doesn't seem like it's come up much or yet, has it?
It really hasn't. And the thing is that it's because both the candidates agree. If you look at Biden's climate plan, he's pro-nuclear. And if you look at the policies that President Trump has done, he's pro-nuclear. And the second they start talking about nuclear, it's a death sentence for Biden. So all Trump needs to say is, Biden and I both agree on nuclear energy as the best source for the climate.
Yeah, but the lack of commenting that he hasn't signed on the AOC deal completely, or hasn't said so. Everybody assumes it because she's in his camp. But is your sense that a guy like Biden would be for nuclear, or don't you know?
Yeah, he will be for nuclear. It actually, in his climate policy, he talks about expanding into advanced generation reactors. So Biden is actually pro-nuclear. He's just very quiet about it because he doesn't want to, get the AOCs of the world angry.
Yeah. We're talking with Mark Schneider, @SubSchneider on Twitter. And Mark, this piece you linked to from Yale Climate Connections.org, which I'll put up, the title is "What We've Been Having the Wrong Debate About Nuclear Energy, What Advocates on Both Sides May Be Overlooking." Walk us through what this is saying and where we are.
Well, one of the big things is that when we get into the debates is that, me as an advocate for nuclear, I'm advocating the advanced technologies. And the people who are countering that are always bringing me back to the old school technologies, right? So if you're using phones, they want to argue that, the old school phone, you had to rotate that thing to get the operator to plug into, to contact with someone,
right,
is going to make a terrible cell phone. That's really what they're arguing. And I'm sitting here going, no, but I've got this iPhone and it's great. It works awesome. We know this stuff works and we make work. Yeah, but you need that person to plug it in. And there's a lot of just talking past each other. And I think the second we can get people to actually, sit down and discuss and talk about what advanced nuclear technologies are, it really does break down the anti-nuclear narrative. One of the big things that we look at, people always bring up is Fukushima. Well, people don't realize that those 4 reactors that had the problem in Fukushima were all built in the 1960s, right? I mean, they were old. They were over 40 years old, which is beyond their normal lifespan. And people are saying, well, I don't want that. Well, I don't want to build any of that new either. I want, the new stuff. I don't want a dial phone. I want a cell phone, right? That's the kind of argument that we got to do, is we got to get people to stop thinking about the old nuclear as the argument and start talking about new nuclear as the argument.
Yeah, and the so what's the state of play? We're not building this in America yet, right? Where is it being built, and is it working yet?
It is working. So if you look at in Russia, they have a reactor called the BN-800, and it is a Gen 4 reactor that is operational. Its initial fuel was old nuclear weapons. It is no longer nuclear weapons material, and it's being transitioned to waste as they do their periodic refueling. And by 2021, it's going to be running off of waste from those old nuclear reactors forever until they shut it down in 60, 70 years from now. So that's the state as far as that goes. The U.S., as far as getting these new designs, there's one company that has licensed a Gen 4 reactor, and that's Oklo, that is submitted for licensing, and that's Oklo. And then there's 2 companies that have Gen 3 advanced designs. So whereas the Oklo reactor is the cell phone, This is the cordless phone version of a nuclear reactor. So not necessarily as advanced, but much more advanced than a dial rotary phone of nuclear reactors. So, and they're getting licensed, and they should, once they get licensed, we can start building these things. And we're looking to, I think in the industry, we're looking to start construction next year or the year after in these new reactors.
So I remember that the one of the things that we're talking with Mark Schneider at Schneider that you were pleased with was that the Energy Department under Rick Perry, Governor Perry of Texas, who served 2+ years, had really kind of moved, and it was, I don't know if it was a surprise, but he was an oil guy. Oil and gas came out of Texas, and the Energy Department was really active in moving the energy thing forward. Is that still going on? Is there let's say it a different way. What else could the Trump administration be doing to move this even faster?
Well, I mean, they're putting a lot of money and effort into that, but probably the biggest thing they could do is just develop a national nuclear power strategy, right? The fact is that when you look at Russia, you look at China, you look at India, who are all building reactors, and even the United Arab Emirates and Egypt and Poland, they all have a nationalized strategy for nuclear energy. If the United States developed, starting from the Department of Energy and the president, a national nuclear power strategy, we could, decarbonize our energy footprint in the United States. Now, one thing that under the current Department of Energy administration, since Rick Perry, is we've seen the rollback of the regulation that denies financing of the U.S. to foreign construction builds. So the fact is now the United States can say if we have a design, we can now build that internationally and fund it internationally. So that old regulation that I believe came out under the Clinton administration is dead.
Wow.
So, so that is a huge thing.
Yeah, that is a huge. That's interesting. All right. So, Mark, do you have? And I'm being serious. Do you care about who wins the election in the fall in the sense that one party or the other is better on this, or is it your point that and when it comes to nuclear, everybody's moving the same direction now?
I have a personal preference on who I would win, but if either candidate promotes nuclear, they're my guy. But I do believe that the current administration is going to be stronger on nuclear than a Biden administration would be.
Gotcha. Now, one more. I'm looking at my notes again. We're talking with Mark Schneider at Schneider. And Mark, what's your website for your company? To say it again, I don't have it in front of me.
Yeah, it's gen4nuclear.com. That's DNIV, as in the Roman numeral 4, and then nuclear.com.
All right, one more question. I'm looking back at my notes. China, is China using nuclear power? Are they? Because if they wanted to, their economy and their command structure, the regime, the communist regime, they could make it happen. Are they doing nuclear?
Oh, they are, absolutely. They are rapidly expanding their nuclear. They're expecting to start construction on 6 to 8 new nuclear reactors from 2021 to 2026. And
is it Gen 4? What generation is it? Gen 3? Gen 4?
These would be Generation 3 reactors.
Huh. And wow. That's I mean, it's a big country, but that's a lot of development, huh?
That's 3 times their current output.
Wow. Huh. All right. That is, that's an amazing fact. I didn't know the answer when I asked you, but that's an amazing fact. All right. Mark Schneider, thank you as always. It's again at Schneider, and I'll put up on social media his tweet with a link to this article, and we'll catch up soon, Mark. Thank you.
Thanks, Ed.
All right. We'll take a break and be right back. It's Ed Martin here on the Pro America Report. Be back in a moment.